Yeah, I definitely should get tested for that. What's going on, guys? The NHL betting market for January the 27th. We'll start off with the Blackhawks Predators fact, guys. 7:30 p.m. Eastern time start. 756 bets on this one. Preds open minus 171. They've been bet up to minus 175. 71% of bets, 52% of the money. So slight exposure there on the Blackhawks. Plus 156 with 48% of the money. But on the puck line, there's a lot of exposure on the Predators, who has 1.5 goal favorites, open plus 136. It's moved up slightly to plus 138. 27% of bettors. However, 87% of the early money has been bet on the Predators puck line. So if I had to, I don't know, these might be split pretty evenly if there is more money on the money line.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it is interesting here because I mean money obviously we can think that the handle's presumably higher on the money line, but it is like look at that, it is interesting here. You're taking exposure on the Blackhawks there, but like you had mentioned, the definite exposure on the Predators on the puck line here. So the best result I'm thinking is the Predators to win by one here.
That would be
for the book at
the
least.
best result for the books, that's for sure. And then on to the OU, which opened at 6 minus 107. It's still at 6, but the juice has moved to the over. It's currently sitting at minus 112. 57% of bets have been placed on the over. 94% of the money has been bet on the under, though, at 6.
Well, that's why these when they're that wide, it's dubious to me because 94% of the money, and then you're going to incentivize taking the under by lowering it 7 points from 7-107s from 107 minus 107 to even money. That's the part that makes me a little skeptical then, and harder to make a judgment on this. I think this market is probably balanced though, and they've done a good job of that. But it is interesting of note though that they're free rolling on a Predators victory by 1 goal. So that is something that where the stars can align for the book, even though they'll make money on pretty much every other result, it looks like. Unless those money figures are right, then the under would hurt them.
And then on to the 8 p.m. Eastern time start, 907 bets so far on the Senators-Canucks game. This is the second game of their matchup. Canucks opened at minus 146. They've been bet up to minus 154 point favorites at home. 61% of bettors, 64% of the money, which is pretty much the money percentage to the current line is pretty much lining up exactly.
Close.
So it's essentially like a 50-50 exposure for the books. But on the puck line, they're taking a ton of exposure on the Vancouver Canucks, who open as 1.5 goal favorites at plus 159. It's moved up slightly to plus 161. 25% of bettors and 88% of the money is on the Canucks, essentially at plus 160.
I could see the Canucks drawing some square ideas because, I mean, they won 7-1 in this game, right? Like that result is probably going to be extrapolated by a lot of people as stunning, which makes me almost think that there's probably value on the Senators at plus 1.5. But that's purely playing in the devil's advocate on a one sample 7-1 game, so I wouldn't take that too seriously. But it is interesting though that they are taking exposure, and I'm starting to think that recency bias is strong. It makes me think that a normal money line bettor might have flip-flopped and bet the puck line simply because the Canucks result. Well, they won by 6. They can't win by 2 this time. It's not really how sports work. They're an underdog to do it? Well, yeah, because it's hard to win by 2 goals in anything, right? No matter who you're playing. Well, professionally.
And then the OU, it opened at 6.5 with juice on the under at minus 113. It's still at 6.5, but the juice has moved slightly towards the over, which is sitting now at minus 104 compared to minus 101. 70% of bettors are on the over, and the money is split fairly evenly. 53 on the over, 47% on the under.
Yeah, that's there is more volume per person on the under, which makes me think there's probably more sharp action, but the line did move in contrary to that. But part of this is also a line adjustment because there's 214 points of juice on the open, whereas currently there's only 212. So you can call it a little bit of A, a little bit of B, right? So it's a bit of balancing, but there is probably sharp action on the under. 6.5 is a reasonably high OU, which is probably set more due to recency bias I had mentioned because of the 7-1 Canucks drubbing of the Senators, with that total being 8 largely 7 of the goals just on one team. So people could have an idea that this game would go a little bit higher than it probably should, because probably I would imagine that a heavy 6, if that makes any sense, is probably the most likely result if you were to simulate this game for a long time.
And that's it for us, guys. Short and sweet today for the NHL betting market. Only 2 games. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of games tomorrow, so it's going to be a much longer video, I'm assuming. But good luck in your January 27th wagers. Hopefully these NHL betting markets can help you guys make smarter decisions.